and thank you for finding me here at my original YouTube channel, Benidorm and Beyond. I'm an English woman who's lived in this resort for a quarter of a century now, and I aim to bring you a fresh, original and informative take on all there is to see, do and enjoy in and around Benidorm, so here we go. Today's vlog is all about Benidorm's Patronal Fiestas, or the November Fiestas as we mostly all call them. Starting officially on Friday, November the 8th this year and running through until the following Wednesday, preparations are already busily underway around the town, getting ready for the big event. I've now been able to get my hands on the official programme of events, which I'll run through with you, which range from musical spectacles, fireworks displays, solemn masses and processions nodding to the history and tradition of the event, and of course the British fancy dress day on the Thursday after the official celebrations end. In addition to the full events programme that I'll now tell you about, with not every detail listed as there's just too much going on, it's always well worth pointing out that every day from 2 p.m. there'll also be a great party atmosphere with loads of live music along Calle Girona, or the Strip, with all venues colourfully decorated up with flags, buntings and balloons and much more. Benidorm's top cabaret and live music venues such as Morgan Tavern, Hotel California and the Western Saloon, to name just a few, will all be bouncing with party people, with a free barbecue usually being held and a free paella too, with no specific times given yet for these events. So let's get started and find out what there is to see, do, hear and most of all enjoy in Benidorm's November Fiestas. So pin your ears back and listen in. Friday the 8th of November sees the kicking off of the official celebrations, starting with the switching on of the artistic illuminations along Avenida Martínez Alejos, which is just off the beachfront in the Old Town, and this is at 6 p.m. This will be followed by the official opening of the Podat, or street market, along Avenida Emilio Ortuño, which is always fun to visit for a browse, a shop, or maybe just something interesting to eat and drink. And if you're not quite sure where that road is, it's the one that runs beside the hotel's Royal Benidorm Plaza and Agua Azul and leads over the bridge that looks out over the Hotel Bristol. 7 p.m. sees the official inauguration of the fairground, which is located just behind the bullring in the upper Old Town area, with lots of fun rides, stalls, kiosks and music for all the family to enjoy. The stop nearest to the bullring can be reached by buses number 1 or 2 that head up to the tram station and the out-of-town shopping centre of La Marina respectively, and from there you'll just need to walk uphill for a couple of minutes to find the site, which the Spanish called the Recinto Ferial. Also at 8 p.m, the judging of the Peñas commences, with Peñas being social groups that are set up all around the city during this festive period, where food, drink and music are laid on for the members, with awards being given for the best ones and their tents and decor, with a top prize of €300 cash and a trophy. This award giving will be followed by a Peñas procession at 10 p.m, all in the central Old Town area, as most of the events are during this week, this time walking around the streets of the Avenida Rosafa, where some of you may know that Tapas Square is situated if you've seen my recent vlog, and then down towards the seafront. Saturday the 9th of November sees a mass taking place at 10 a.m. at Benidorm's main Catholic church on the headland, La Iglesia de San Jaime y Santa Ana, with the doors then opening to the public at 11:45 a.m, and the Queens in their courts of honour singing to the Virgin of Suffrage, who is Benidorm's patron saint and who this fiesta is actually in honour of. At midday there's an air bombing of firecrackers along with the church bells pealing, creating a cacophony of noise at the same time, and this announces that the celebrations have officially started, with a brass band parade beginning immediately afterwards, leading down the hill away from the church and then all the way to the Town Hall Square in the Aguera Park, or the Plaza de los Ríos de España, where a huge amount and variety of events are held over this festive period. At 5 p.m, on the other side of the resort and down on the Poniente beach, there will be a theatrical performance taking you all the way back to March 1740. And this reenacts the city's history and events that saw a sailorless boat arrive into Benidorm, which amongst its shipwrecked debris was later discovered to be carrying a statuette of the Virgin of the Suffrage, who was then later declared the city's patron saint. At 6:30 p.m, a solemn procession walks through the streets, with many local officials, queens of the fiestas, flag bearers and groups. And this starts outside the Dove Park in the Old Town and proceeds through the walking street, Calle Alameda, or Gin and Tonic Alley, ending up at the church square, where there will then be a floral offering along with a few words from the Fiesta Queen to the waiting crowds. Directly afterwards, there will be a small fireworks display in Plaza de la Señoria, which is the cobbled square right outside Sherry's Bar and behind the church on the Can Valley Cliffs, with other musical performances then following around the town, as is the same every night, with full details to be found in the official Fiestas programme of events, which can be found online or at your local tourist info office if you're here during the festivities and they've got some in stock. Sunday the 10th of November is the official day of our patron saint, the Virgin of the Suffrage, and starts somewhat unceremoniously at 8 a.m. with La Desperta, or the Wake Up, which hears firecrackers sounding around the whole of Benidorm, followed by hot chocolate for everyone involved in the committee tent in the Town Hall Square, which is known as the Kings of Spain Plaza officially. At 11:30, a solemn mass is held at Benidorm's main church up on the Riudor, opposite the hotels RH Can Valley and Villa Venecia, followed at 2 p.m. by a grandiosa mascleta, or a super big pyrotechnical banger display in English, to celebrate the patron saint, which will take place along the Avenida de Jaime I, which, for those of you who don't know, is the big hill leading down to the Poniente beach by the Hotel Corona del Mar. Later in the evening, at 7:30, there will be a solemn procession in honour of the Virgin of Suffrage through the streets of the Old Town, followed by the touching and traditional singing of copletas at 11:30 p.m. at Plaza de San Jaime outside the church, with musical entertainment following in various parts of the city, going on into the early hours. Monday the 11th of November sees the dawning of St James Day, with again everyone being woken up at the 8 a.m. firecrackers, followed by hot chocolate to warm the cockles on these slightly cooler mornings, with an 11:30 a.m. gathering of all the Fiesta officials for song at the church, with another big super banger display on Avenida Jaime I at 2 p.m. At 5, there'll be fun for the children in the historic Hort de Colón building near the Old Town Indoor Municipal Market and just along from Vincent's Corner pub, and no doubt, as usual, there'll also be pockets of Happy Peña members and associations roaming the streets and the bars by night and day, with wandering children's theatre displays and other ad hoc music events and feasts taking place all over town. At 7:30 p.m, again, a solemn procession will take place in honour of St James the Apostle around the Old Town's winding streets, followed by musical events in the Town Hall Square and the Huerta de Colón building to finish the night in style. As always, the procession ends with the lighting of the traditional estampeta in front of the main church, which is one of the religious platforms with statues on top that you can see carried through the streets during fiestas, with great significance and meaning to the community, followed by live music in the town hall area, carrying on until past midnight. On Tuesday the 12th of November, once more the mascleta fireworks will wake us all up, followed by hot chocolate in the Town Hall Square and the gathering of the Queens and their courts of honour, with everyone then heading to the church for a solemn Requiem Mass starting at 10:30. Like every day, there'll be a large children's play park to enjoy in the Town Hall Square, along with more bangs and music in the afternoons, with today's main event being the Desfile de Humor, or Funny Costume Parade, at 7 in the evening, with prizes in excess of €1,000 being awarded to the most humorous bunch. At 11:30, there's yet another mascleta on the Poniente side of town, whilst in the Town Hall Square at midnight, 2 large concerts will be held, with one with a tribute to Spanish band Estopa, followed by singing by Jose Cole, keeping the crowds amused and dancing, with the prizes also being officially handed over to the winners of the Funny Costume Parade. So Wednesday the 13th of November sees the last day of the official Fiesta celebrations, when at 11 in the morning there'll be a gathering of all the Fiesta groups, committees, participants and associations for a walk through the Old Town, and this starts at Plaza Neptuno, which some of you might recognise from some of my vlogs over the years about Benidorm's Old Town off the tourist trail, and which then leads through the streets to the Town Hall area, where most events, as you may now have guessed, usually end up. At 1 p.m, there'll be a firework display for the children with sweet treats, followed at 2 p.m. by a thundering let-off of pyrotechnics, which, after hearing it by chance in the past, I can assure you is something to put the fear of God in you if you weren't expecting it. At 6 p.m, we have one of the most iconic events of the November Fiestas in the shape of the fabulous parade of floats, signalling the end of the official Fiestas, and this is looked forward to by both locals and holidaymakers alike, starting at Avenida Alcoy and leading on to Avenida Martínez de Lecos, and then running all the way through to Calle Marqués de Comillas in the heart of the Old Town this year, instead of the more traditional ending at the Dove Park. Directly afterwards, although this is Spain, so don't set your watches by it, there is an absolutely spectacular firework display which puts most bonfire night displays in the UK to shame by some way, which illuminates the sky seemingly forever, whilst down below the streets are illuminated by 1001 mobile phones videoing the event, as is always the way nowadays. The festivities come to a close with the prizes being given out for the best floats in the parade at 11:30 in the Town Hall Square. So, is that Fiestas over? Of course not! Finally, Thursday the 14th of November sees the arrival of the fabulous British Fancy Dress Day that takes place every year on the day after the official Spanish Fiesta events have all finished. The most anticipated day of the year for lots of Benidorm tourists, many who come over just for this particular day, as well as us locals who like to party in between work too, that is. This tradition was started over 25 years ago by the original Sinatra's nightclub, just as a gimmick, when anybody turning up to the bar on the day after the Fiestas in fancy dress would get a free drink. Now a huge celebration, including a parade of floats processing down the strip and into the square, and street bars, live music acts and DJs, the resort expects to easily see over 30,000 revellers in costume. So that just about wraps up all the events planned for this year's 2024 November Benidorm Fiestas, and I hope you've enjoyed listening to all the fun that's planned, and hopefully you'll watch some of my footage of it too as I film out and about. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you out and about next time, maybe videoing along some of Benidorm streets during Fiestas, who knows. Bye for now, take care, and I hope to catch you again very soon. Cheers!